traders and investors alike were green today. Well, we had PPI come out this morning, and it was hotter than the market wanted to see. We also had Fed minutes come out, and they were more hawkish than what the market wanted to see. Sometimes the market can throw a little tantrum. We do have CPI tomorrow, some Fed speakers, so we'll just, play the action like we always do. All right, let's just get to some charts. So we got AMC, we got his head and shoulders working nicely. We did pause to put this little base in. We tried to push up right into our resistance level and got, which is our neckline, and got, pulled back down. So this week, this would have been a nice play. It's been printing all week. Put the call ratio. This has not updated yet for some reason. The oscillators for the NASDAQ, 107. Just a barely warm 126 for the New York Stock Exchange. Plenty of room to move in either direction. The put to call, or the SPX weekly chart, the S&P 500. We had talked about, being right above this and being basically on the 200 weekly, and just been trying to hold for support, but we have dipped below it until that candle confirms. At the end of the trading day Friday, we can still, it's still forming until Friday. MACD's bearish there. US dollar, it's been strengthening back up since it broke this downtrend. You can see some indecision in here. MACD wants to cross. Keep an eye on that MACD. Showing plenty of relative strength. The VIX, 2 indecision candles here. We have another chart. We've been posting a cup forming this little handle. VIX 15-minute chart trading in this little symmetrical triangle today, which, and we'll see, it's basically what the market traded in. Crude, pulling back. We have a nice flag here into the 50 and our 9. Let's see if we can hold this and push. MACD changing character, leveling out on the top, seeing histogram bar shrink. So we could be seeing crude pull back. We are at a big level right now at that 50. All right, this is our advanced decline lines, and you can see the New York Stock Exchange making new lows, the S&P 500 making new lows. But if you see the mid caps and small caps, like the IWM today did not put in a new low. So mid caps and small caps are a little stronger than the large caps right now. Apple still in that downtrend, still respecting the 9. AMD putting in 3 little indecision candles, basically little dojis down here. It is back inside the Bollinger Band, still below this trend line. But if you look here on the weekly, which we pointed this out Sunday, that we were resting at support and we were able to gap down enough to open up below it. And that's what's holding us from pushing up right now. Affirm, we did retest our moving averages, and we were able to close barely, but we were able to close above the 9 today. So that's a good sign. You can see very tight action on the 15 for Affirm. AA, news come in about banning aluminum being sold to Russia, and that spiked AA. Big volume coming on that. Amazon, a very, very tight action day. AMC, you can see we pulled back, did recover some of it, but right into this 50, the 15-minute 50, going into after hours. AMD, you can see very tight the last 3 days, and we pointed the reason out why on the weekly chart, the power of multiple time frames. Amazon, you can see the little spinning top today. Apple, been fairly tight here the last 3 days, not a lot of movement. We did set some nice trends yesterday, but a very tough trend here on the way down. arc, we've broken out of our, this is basically coiling into a floor. We've broken out of that to the downside, but we have found some support here at this previous support level. Boeing, we lost the 9 this morning, gapping down, and we pushed back up above it, so we did close back above the 9. MACD still crossed there, bullish. Bitcoin trading right in that zone, so we're stuck in that zone. Bitcoin rounded top here and on the weekly, daily, and the weekly there. Boeing, you can see some crazy action yesterday. This thing just popped and run. It ran pretty hard, didn't give a nice, basically give it all back. But that gave us some nice trade yesterday. We had that on the radar. And you can see today, very tight action. It's a lot, we traded in some pretty tight ranges today with a lot of stocks, a lot of assets. Charge point, we were watching this double top form, and we ended up forming a head and shoulders inside of the double top, and we have broken down out of that. Yesterday, you can see we had a nice move down, and they were able to push it back up. So the bears had control of that candle. The bulls were able to come back in and push it back up. Today, we opened up and pulled back. You can see that MACD's bearish there. Chewy, you got this nice little flag right into your moving averages here. MACD is trying to hold in. You can see the trend line here on the intraday, and we have taken it out here right at the end of the day. So that trend line's been holding us down. That's formed. So if you look at that trend line, that's been pushing us down. There's your downtrend right there that we're seeing on the 15-minute chart. The power of multiple time frames. And you can see that we have taken that level out at the end of the day. So there's a chance that maybe, just maybe, we can push off that 9. Let's keep an eye on it. XLP, we took this downtrend out today, pushed up. This did pull back. Look at your MACD changing character. Trying to show some relative, well, it is showing some relative strength today. We did, the bears did come back in and take control of that candle, but we did close above that trend line, so it's worth keeping an eye on. And some moving averages there we got above too. Crowd pushed lower. MACD's crossing bearish there. Chevron, we talked about these evening star patterns. We did pull right back to, we actually took the 50 out and pulled back to the 9, and we ended up pushing back up yesterday. Pushed up a little bit today. You can see here the action's been pretty tight for the most part. DraftKings, we talked about this channel and the trading room today. We broke out of it, so that provided some opportunities. This candle at one time, the bears took control of it and pushed it down, bounced basically off your Bollinger Band, found support at your Bollinger Band, and pushed back up into the bottom of that channel. MACD is just now getting cross bearish there. ExxonMobil, you can see, been trading pretty flat the last 2 days. First Solar, 50 is still support here. Watching this, we were hoping to see it break up out of this broadening channel. It's come back. Really not surprised at the time. It was, printing the broadening channel there. We were bearish on the MACD. Was honestly expecting it to break to the downside. And we pushed up, and it's still coming down. It's still holding in a tremendous amount of relative strength there in that chart. It's, look at this MACD dumping. Look how well that price action's held in. GME got this little, it's more of a symmetrical triangle, really. It's not, well, it's I guess this should be level. It should be, we could call it an ascending triangle. It's not textbook, but we definitely got a triangle there. Keep an eye on, see which way it breaks out of. Google, we pushed up into our moving averages. We're able to take them back. We are now back below the 9 and 20 there. Getting some indecision candles down there. It's pretty tight. Q's, basically an inside day there. And you can see it right here, tight action. You can get a little symmetrical triangle out of that. And we'll take a better look at that at the SPY. We talked about that in pre-market, and we ended up still forming a symmetrical triangle today. The Qs, you can see we're below the weekly 200. We all know that's just trouble. We do have some support here. bonds had a green day. IWM got this little bear flag here. So IWM's actually been showing some relative strength versus the SPY. You can see that here on the daily chart, we have not come down to test the lows yet, the June lows, September lows, I'm sorry. We've not come back down to test the September lows. IWM, you can see it's give us some decent trends though. Yesterday, a big push up, pull back. That's a day trader's dream right there. Today just opened up, snatched down big time. Mara, we are below support and which is now resistance, below our major moving averages as well. This MACD is trying to cross. Keep an eye on that MACD. Merck, this has had some news today. It's been strong, a ton of relative strength in this chart. You can also see it's broken this downtrend here. MACD strong. It's definitely one to keep an eye on if you're looking for a bullish play. Got a gap there. Watch that gap. We'd always get a gap fill. Meta, we were calling for new lows with this, but I didn't mean for it to pull back this far. That's for sure. It's getting a little sad there. And if you look, your Bollinger Bands are giving us a fresh pinch right here as well. So we may see more, at least some more volatility out of it. You can actually draw a downtrend on that, looks like, to get an idea. To help build a plan on trading it. MU, this was strong yesterday and did end up pulling back some today. Still holding that 9. You can see if this does push, it needs to take this level out here. Microsoft, inside day, just doji indecision there. Just basically just a doji. A lot of indecision in that chart. Right now, fresh pinch on the MACD. Needs to get back in the Bollinger Bands, or fresh pinch on the Bollinger Bands, and needs to get back in the Bollinger Bands. You can see been trading very tight, very, very tight the last 2 days. MRL pushing off the 9. MU, intraday 15-minute chart. You can see this big push that we had yesterday, and even pushed in pre-market strong, had it on the radar, but ended up getting this epic flush play. And that's one thing we always look for when we get these big moves in pre-market. Can always get that epic flush play. Try to change your way of thinking. Everybody's always trying to run in and be like, oh, it's up, so it's going to continue going up. Just try to be a little more open-minded when it comes to that, because sometimes you can make good money catching a pullback on it as well. You got to always have a plan A and a plan B. Netflix, we did take this support level out, and we pushed back up. Looks like we're trying to test it. May have closed back inside of that. And it looks like it did close right just above that line. NVIDIA, this is another one. We had this double top, then we end up confirming it, and it's just outperformed. It's tight ranging down here. It's because it's right into the Bollinger Bands. We need some kind of bounce here. The market just has no strength. Seems like it's been trading from data point to data point, but you can see the last 3 days here. It's been a fairly tight range, and we can see it on the chart. Oxy intraday, nice pushing on this one today. Oxy daily chart back below this 50 here. Palantir trying to hold this support level. Watch your moving averages. You're pinched in between 2 moving averages. MACD is losing its steam as well. Keep an eye on that. See if we can get a pinch there or a cross to roll over. You can see the intraday moves. Had some wild intraday moves on this one though. Definitely some money there to be made. Day trader's dream. Peloton, holding support. 9's coming down, curling up underneath of it. Looks like the 20's over top of it. I don't like them when they're pinched in between 2 moving averages like that. I'd rather find something else to trade. One thing, we need room for our stocks to move so we can make money. Plug below this resistance level. was support. We've opened up below it, now turns into resistance. Roblox, strong day today. Had a really nice trend. Good job spotting that out, Joe. Very good job spotting that out. Back above the 920 and the support. See where we open up in the morning. Just make sure we don't pull back. The S&P 500, you can see down here, trying to find some support down here. We're extended from our moving averages. So Salesforce, once again, tight candle right into our Bollinger Bands. MACD wants to roll there, a little extended from our moving averages. And you can see this one. This is this has a pretty good range on it, but you can see how tight it's been the last 2 days. Snow got back into the Bollinger Bands today. SoFi, this is another one, had some nice trends, especially yesterday. Definitely room to make money there. I mean, getting back up, it did take out the previous high of the day at the end of the day, the opening candles. You can see SoFi here, we're below some major moving averages and a level of resistance. This is our weekly chart for the SPY. And you can see pretty ugly here, holding below the 363.02 level. You see SPY wanting to come down and test that September lows. I mean, it's right there on it. Intraday, I believe we have taken it out. And you can see the symmetrical triangle here on the SPY. We talked about one in pre-market that was forming that had, we were able to get, start drawing these lines. We had those moves in pre-market. We were actually coming off of this level, and we had to move in pre-market, which put in a new low, took this low out. So just basically redrawing your lines. We still had a symmetrical triangle all day. We broke out of it right there at the end of the day. Square, basically an inside day there. Tight range today on a lot of stuff. You can see tech, we have put in a new low. Tesla, so we're right down here on the weekly support level. You can see we've been pulling back today, some indecision. We tried to push up, at least we closed above the opening. Not by much, but we did. We took a big dip and we tried to recover. It did recover quite a bit of it. You can see right here that it took the big, pretty tight range, especially for Tesla, but we took the dip here, pushed up, struggled with that 15-minute 50, and at the end of the day, we were able to take the 15-minute 50 out. Got us above the opening. Twitter here, you got this little bull pennant forming, flagging. Uber, this gap's filled, new gap. UNG, big move down this afternoon. Actually, from market open, it had a nice trend down. You can see we lost this 200 yesterday, or actually Monday. We took the 200 out, and we've been able to remain below it. We did try to push up above it and got rejected off the 9. Upstart. Last 2 days have been strong on this. You can see we've put in this little rounded bottom down here. We've back above the resistance level, which now becomes support. See where we open tomorrow. But you can see this was on the radar this morning because of the move yesterday. And it was able to push where MU was not able to push like that. But we were watching both of those today. Got Wells Fargo for a nice push here. Our banks, so we're hitting down here testing the September lows. I still want to call them June lows. Got so used to saying June lows. ExxonMobil, we flagged right into our 9, trying to push. You can draw your flag out. So basically you can draw just like a little downtrend there. We took that out. MACD still looks good. See if we can get a push on energy. Well, that concludes our video. I hope everybody has a great night, and I'll see you in the trading room.